Transaction, or really two. Cornerback Patrick Robinson went to reserve, retired, and then Brett Maher, we signed the kicker from a workout yesterday. Still at 90. Any questions?
Sean, did you see this coming with Patrick?
No. Normally you don't. You know, I mean, he's played in this league a long time, and he and I spoke for about a half an hour, and you know, he's had a great career. He's been smart with his money, and it was something that, you know, deep down inside he felt, and it's not unusual really in training camp. It's happened a number of times, and it's hard to ever see somebody and how they're feeling when you have a large group of players like this. Someone who's played as long as he has, you know, he felt comfortable with his decision, and certainly, you know, we respect that, and you know, he'll get on to his next chapter, and we go from there.
Would you say he was like in good spirits when you talked to him?
Sean,
No, I don't know that that's how I describe it. I think, you know, he doesn't want to let anyone down, and he just felt like in his heart it was that time, and I respect that.
Sean, there wasn't an injury that contributed to. He didn't get like an injury setback in practice.
No. He was healthy.
Sean, what would you say this does to the depth at cornerback? You called this a must position.
It still is. No, it still is, and we'll keep working. We'll keep working the rosters, and you know, there'll be a cut down. In the meantime, we're working closely with the guys we have here.
Have you seen some encouraging signs with the guys
Yeah,
we have here?
absolutely, and yet, you know, it's still an area though we'll pay close attention to.
Sean, how do you feel like you guys did in the 2 minutes today?
Look, there's going to be a ton of things to coach off of. I saw the ball on the ground, rolling around, time's moving. You know, we need to. The emphasis obviously is to get out of bounds. We have a penalty, offsides, kind of extended drill. So there's a number of good coaching points. Pretty much maybe like, you know, you'd expect on the first day. You know, some good, some bad, and you know, fortunately we have a lot of time to clean it up.
Sean, what did you see from the kicker in the workout yesterday?
You know, he's pretty consistent. We had two of them in. He did a better job. But, you know, I thought you saw good leg strength. He can kick off as well. We've seen him, of course, when he's played with Dallas. Those are the things.
Sean, the pass from Taysom to Juwan Johnson. Talk about that play. It seemed like that was about
Yeah, it was a cover two look, and you know, it was a good location. Juwan got down the middle and did a nice job of kind of turning his body. He's had a good camp, and you know, it's the type of play you need in that situation. When you're getting that kind of coverage, you're going to attack that area of the field. Obviously, it was a big play in that drill.
Is that the best use of Juwan? Like what he brings, just his length?
He's developing. You know, inside. You know, he's made this transition to tight end. He's a willing blocker. He's tough. He's very serious and mature relative to his preparation, and you know, I'm encouraged with what he's done so far, and we just keep working with him. But certainly, he feels comfortable inside and in those traffic areas.
It's a couple times now you've taken like a receiver and tried to kind of switch him over. What are you looking for specifically in that?
Just trying to find a fit. You know, where can he fit on the roster? Of course, we did it with Dan. I was in New York. We did it. I've done it 2 or 3 different times. It's not unusual. Where can they fit? What's their growth potential? How do they make the roster? And then, you know, what's the vision? And I think it's been done a handful of times. And he's someone that I think, Juwan, who's got really good growth potential, and someone who's strong, and is someone who's you know, excited about the change too. It's hard if someone's not embracing it. You know what I mean? You go all the way back to Cowboys tight end that played receiver coming out of Wyoming, Wycheck, and eventually he moved inside and found a pretty good career there. So it's just, you know, creating the right vision for the player.
Do you have to also project
Say it again.
you have to also project that they can add some ball, like maintaining.
Yeah, but we're not going to. Yeah, he was already, 35.
Right.
So.
Sean, are you comfortable with only 3 preseason games and Saturday here before you're playing all 4 quarterbacks? It seems like.
Yeah, well, look, they're not asking if we're comfortable with it. We're doing it,
Yeah.
and so now it's just a matter of, we'll meet tonight and tomorrow night on the rotation, how we're going to play these guys. And, it might be one of them doesn't play as much the first week, plays more the second, and I'm talking about even our down-the-line players. So that's why all of this matters, too.
How would you describe Ken Colley's growth since he left and came back?
Well, look, he's someone who's always been able to run. I think he's got real good length, and so his radius to defend, I think, helps him. He stepped in and shoot that London game and then started the rest of the season for us back in, is that 17?
17.
Yeah, and had a good year. So obviously he's been in this league now long enough. He understands, some of the challenges, what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and you keep working on some of those things that he wants to get better at. But he too is willing and a good worker.
It looks like he's in the mix, so you're hopeful that he'll be in the mix to
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you guys still exploring the options at cornerback and keeping him?
I think I just said it. We were.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Coach, is there a reason why turnovers around the practice teams?
There's a few of these guys that weren't. We had a couple guys get nicked up here, but I'll keep you posted.
Sean, have you seen Marquez? It seems like he's just mentally just kind of stepped into wanting to kind of lead that group there.
I felt like I saw some of that last year, quietly, and I think it was a little bit under the radar, but I thought his confidence level really grew when he began playing mid-season, and you saw it week in and week out with how he played, and he's a willing blocker himself. He's tough. We just keep developing him, but he did enough things for us to see last year and feel confident that this guy's going to help us.
With all the turnover on the roster, you only have 3 preseason games. Does that make it a lot harder than maybe it would be if you had a more veteran team like
Well, look, I think it is what it is, though. I mean, we've had turnover year in and year out. There's guys that come in new and guys that leave. You can't control the preseason games, but we can create those same type of environments here, and I think you'll see us treat them more like week 1, 2, and 3 rather than 2, 3, and 4. Because when we get to the 3rd preseason game, there's another weekend prior to the start of the season. So, we'll use them the best way we feel like that can help us with the roster.
get more turnover in 2006, I think.
Say it again.
Maybe more turnover in 2006.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the point being, you really never know how that's going to play out.
All right. Thank you.
How you guys doing?
Good. How did you feel like the workout yesterday went? Obviously it went well, but did you feel
Yeah,
that at the time?
I felt like it was pretty clean on my end. Come here and expect to make kicks, and that's what I did. I'm glad to have the opportunity now to prove myself with the organization.
When did that kind of come to be? When did you find out that you were going to be here?
I got in here Sunday evening, and the workout was yesterday, so everything happened pretty quick.
What's that process sort of like for you? Because you've gone through it for a lot of time. But what's it sort of like just sitting around waiting for those?
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting. There's a lot of time where you don't feel like you're in control of what your situation is, but to be able to stay kind of in the grind of it and do what you need to do to stay sharp mentally and physically, to be ready when a situation arises. And I felt like I did a good job with that here the last 6 or 7 months, and hopefully I can continue to prove myself here and get a shot and help this team win some games.
Have you talked to Will Lutz?
I texted with him a little bit yesterday, so I know he's going through a little bit right now, and I'm excited for him to get back in and be around and meet him and get to know him a little bit more.
Did he give you any pointers?
What's that?
Did he give you any pointers about it?
No, just good luck. I know him a little bit just because we've crossed paths, but he's a great guy, great human being, and he'll be fun to be around when he gets back.
Brett, has you had any other workouts, and what is your maintenance program to stay in shape?
It's just kicking, lifting. This was the first workout I'd had of this training camp circuit, but it's just doing what I feel like I need to do to stay sharp. Number one, for a workout, because you got to perform well during that, and then to be able to sustain the training camp and get through the endurance part of it for that as well.
Is that kind of a nerve-wracking process to go and audition?
It can be. I think if you're not prepared for it, it can be. It's just different. I don't know. Every job has its own stressors, and I'm not immune to that. But to be able to kind of be prepared, and I've seen situations like that, and so I had a little bit of an idea what to expect, and was able to come out here and have a good day yesterday. But again, none of that matters if you don't keep it going moving forward.
What's the chemistry been like with Blake and Zach so far?
Yeah, it's been really good. Blake, Zach, Nolan, I've gotten a little bit of work in with them now the last almost 24 hours, and they're all very, very professional, very good at what they do. And I think it'll be pretty seamless going in and getting some live work in with them.
How long does that process typically take anyway?
It depends. It can be a couple balls. It could take a couple weeks. I feel comfortable with what I've seen out of them, and our personalities I think gel pretty good too, which is important. To where I think it'll be pretty smooth.
The whirlwind kind of continues, considering there's a preseason game on Saturday. You're ready for your workout, but is there a difference between being workout ready and game ready?
Games are always a little bit different, and you don't really know until you get in it. The days are just so long. So that's what you try to train to be ready for, because that's ultimately, kind of what our job dictates. But my job is, whenever a ball is down, to kick it through the uprights and try to keep that as simple as possible, because it really is as simple and as difficult as that at the same time.
What did you learn from the whole Dallas experience? I mean, it was kind of up and down.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun for me. Really loved my time there. Loved the staff that was there. Made a lot of great friends that I still have today. It was just I learned to kind of remove myself from everything outside and be a little more narrow focused, and I don't like to use the word selfish, but kind of immerse myself into what I need to do, and know that have a clearer understanding of what my job and expectation is, and it doesn't rely on too many other people besides myself.
Did it make you mentally tougher? Because it's kind of
Yeah, I think it depends on how you react to every situation. I feel like I've taken it and spun it that way to be able to help me in the future.
How about improving your percentages or your accuracy? What have you done there, to make yourself better?
Yeah, just continue to grind on technique, mental stuff, and more repetitions you get, the cleaner you're going to get at that stuff. So, I've done, a lot of technique work, hit a lot of balls since then, and continue to grow mentally as well. So I think that'll pay off for me.
What was your 2020 kind of like? How did it affect your outlook on life, football, all that stuff?
It was a different year. I think it was a different year for everyone across the world, not just myself. It made me more resilient and more grateful at the same time. So there's a lot of lessons, I think, from that time period of the last year and a half that, again, I think however you perceive those is going to be if you turn it into a positive or if it can kind of bury you as well. And I think we've done a good job of making sure that those experiences help me moving forward.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not totally up to speed on what your interaction was like with NFL teams during the previous season.
Yeah, no, I bounced around. I was 4 different teams last year, practice squads, training camp. So it was a little bit of a whirlwind. for me. But again, I met a lot of great people, had a lot of great experiences, and was able to grow from each one of those.
Did you ever, I don't know, lose faith when you were there every time? Where you said, well, maybe this isn't.
I didn't. I feel like physically and mentally, I've been in a good enough spot to be able to compete at this level. So it was just about staying true to what I felt like I needed to do to get back, and then once I did get back, to prove myself again.
You still feel like it's relatively early in the season, right?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I've got I feel like I got a lot of balls left to kick. Good. All right. Thanks, guys. Yep. Absolutely.
But you're not from home. You're not from
James, can you just assess how you feel camp's going so far?
It's going well. It's early in camp, so you got a lot of stuff on film that you can see and correct. Got time to correct it. You always got to have a sense of urgency. The season's right around the corner. It's always a race to get as good as you can, as fast as you can. That way you can really operate and focus on the small details.
You seem like a guy who last year you had both roles, inside and outside. It seems like you've been concentrating a little bit more outside so far. But are you ready for that transition if it has to happen?
Yeah, if it has to happen, you're always ready. It's football. They call your number, you got to go in and get the job done, and that's what they're counting on you to do. So I relish that. I take pride in always being prepared, understanding assignments, responsibilities, what has to get done. So if they call your number to switch positions, just take advantage of the opportunity and do the best you can.
What are some things you've seen out of that street? And obviously, you used to play here, but
Yep.
just making a transition, what has he brought to the?
It's great. It's a proven, successful veteran football player that has been out on the same field doing what you're doing, and he did at a really high level. So it's great to have that voice in the room, just giving us tips. Maybe a couple different ways to get the job done that can help out and suit different guys' play styles. So it's just great to have someone in the room that's done it before.
And what about some of your impressions of Cesar Ruiz in his growth from year to year?
Yeah, year one to year two, they say is always your biggest growth, and I think that's showing itself. He's been playing really well so far. He's got more confidence, which I think is great for him. But yeah, he's had a good camp so far, and he's really working hard at it. Honestly, he knows the expectations that he has for himself, and those are very high expectations. And he relishes that. He loves competing, loves coming out here and playing football.
What about some of the guys that you're facing against, like Peyton Turner, Marcus Davenport? What have they been off the edge? Like, just seems like they're getting crazy rushes.
Yeah. Those are good players. It's a great opportunity to go against those guys in practice. It's going to be a full speed rep. It's going to give you a good look for game speed. Peyton, he's done a good job so far. He's got really good hands, I think, for a rookie player. That's kind of the last thing I think that develops for those rushers is good hand movement. Hand fighting, stuff like that. But I think he's got a good sense of it early, which is going to benefit him a lot. He's obviously a big body, so power is probably a natural thing for him. But he showed a lot of promise, and he's working at it every day.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Trevor, what's been like from your perspective seeing Jameis and Taysom kind of both get the first team reps and both kind of have a chance to?
Yeah, I think they're doing a really nice job. I think the cool thing for me to see is kind of their different skill sets and what makes them both really good players. But it's been a fun room, man. I think easy guys to get along with, easy guys to pull for. So for me, just trying to learn from those guys' reps, and like I said, they do a lot of things really well. So it's been good.
The other guy in the room, Ian Book, how have you seen him kind of progress through 11 days camp?
Oh, Ian Sharp, man, he's doing a really good job. He's not making the same mistakes twice, which is, as a rookie, I think that's the thing you try to avoid. But really talented, great feet. I think he's going to be a really good player.
Were you in Denver with Peyton?
Yeah, 1 year, Super Bowl year.
What was it like seeing him do the Hall of Fame speech the other day? I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, no, I saw it. It was cool. Yeah, it was captivating, I thought. He was joking about being long-winded early on, but I said, I was thinking, Peyton, this is the time to be long-winded, if you're going to do it. So I think it was, he nailed it to nobody's surprise. A lot of good stuff, and yeah, really captivating, I thought.
What's a highlight, that maybe not a lot of people know that you have Peyton?
Yeah, we won the Super Bowl that year, so it was kind of a fun year. I think it was cool for me to see. He wasn't setting the world on fire statistically, but kind of seeing him lead and be a good teammate when he was banged up, maybe when he wasn't throwing for 6 touchdowns a game. For me, that was pretty cool to see because I know how good of a player he is, obviously Hall of Famer, but that part was cool for me.
What have you seen from Ronald Curry in the quarterback's room? What has it been like working with him?
RC's been awesome. He provides a really good insight from a different lens for us, because he's been coaching receivers. So for me, it's the first time hearing what receivers are looking for, what's tough on them, amongst the other things. I mean, he's played quarterback too, so he's been really good for me, and I know I'm picking a lot of all the quarterbacks. We're learning a lot from him, so he's been great so far.
You guys have been doing some of these kind of almost skill drills, thrown into the nets
Yeah.
or hitting the trash can.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys are having a lot of fun with that too.
Yep.
Like it's kind of injecting some competition into schoolyard competition into
Sure.
actual skill work.
Sure.
What's that been like? Just kind of incorporating that.
It's good.
New in practice.
Yeah, it's good. You're just trying to figure out who's paying for dinner that next time you go out. But yeah, it's good. I think it's easy. We're easy guys to get along with, and injecting some competition in the middle of practice is good. And then talking a little smack too, which is always good. So.
I think you got the trash can the most today, right? Looks like you got it the most.
Yeah, I was chasing though, so don't be fooled. I think Ian got today. To be honest with you, we'll have to do a retally. Anytime a rookie wins, you got to recount. So.
Yeah, I was about to say losing to a rookie.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
How similar are the devices they use here to your other stuff? Is it pretty much you use trash cans at every team, or is
Yeah. Similar stuff. I don't know what the brand is on this stuff. The trash can, I don't know, but yeah, similar stuff. I mean, whether you're working goal line fades or in cuts or whatever, everybody's got nets or things like that. Yeah. Yep.
How do you deal with the uncertainty of playing this position?
Yeah.
It seems like it's wherever you've been is always
Sure.
somebody looking over your shoulder. Has it been difficult, or what's that been like?
No, I think for one, you don't look too far ahead, and it makes you enjoy the process, if anything else. So, I'm kind of making my way around, and all along I've been fortunate to come across some really good coaches and really good teammates, and I'm thankful for those relationships, and like I said, you have fun when you can. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm learning a lot. Obviously, you get all these different perspectives, and yeah, I think total it's been good for me. Yeah, thanks guys.
Appreciate it.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good.
You feeling like a tight end yet?
Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of felt like a tight end when I first got here. I was 230 pounds. You know, kind of already heavy on the heavy spectrum already. But you know, it's been really good. You know, being with the tight ends. You know, learning under those guys like Garrett Griffin and Trout, and Nick. Learning under those guys. It's been great. Obviously, been different putting your hand on the ground. You know, getting your nails a little dirty, but it's been good.
It looks like you're picking up the blocking aspect of it. How's that going for you, and where do you feel like you're at?
It's been good. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of work for me. It's obviously so new. You know, I used to be blocking guys like Keith Washington and guys like that who are 190 pounds, and now I'm blocking guys that are like Marcus Davenport, who's like 270. And so it's a lot different. You know, knowing that I have to have the same attitude, but just a different way of going about it. I have to play with more leverage and more footwork technique and things like that. So it's been fun. It's been fun for the most part.
Josh said you never flinch, like no matter who it is. Like is that the main thing? Is just the willingness and the confidence that you can?
That's just kind of always been my attitude. I mean, I don't care what it is. You know, now I get paid for this, so it doesn't matter what I do. But I kind of always want to have the attitude that I'm just trying to compete and just trying to play. It doesn't matter if I'm even at kicker. I'm just trying to kick my best and be out here extra to try to do my best at it. So that's the only thing I'm just trying to do is just compete.
Is the route you ran on the TD, I didn't actually see how it started. Is it a route you would have never run before, or it was actually one that you could have done in last year's practice?
Yeah. I mean, this offense, like you can play anywhere. You can play outside, play inside. Guys like Marquez, you can play inside, outside. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's just all about learning the concept. So there is something that I could have ran last year, but this year is something that I'm playing the tight end role, so I'm going against more linebackers, and so it's a good way to try to take advantage of them with some speed and different levels of speed, which is pretty good for me.
I know you said you felt like a tight end when you came here, but what would that conversation like when it first happened? Sean Payton said you were all for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, stuff like that. You always have people joking around the facility. Like I remember the first week I got here, Jared Cook was like, "Nah, you're supposed to be over here with us, running sprints," because I was running sprints with the skills. And so it always starts like that. It always starts off playful, and then it starts to get into something more serious. And so this offseason, Ronald Curry hit me up and was like, "Yeah, we're going to move you to tight end." And so I was happy. I was like, all right, like I get the block and I get to run against some linebackers and defensive backs. So it was all good for me. It was all lighthearted. It was never anything that I was, scared of. But I was ready for it.
Do you view that as like a really good path to the roster for you too? Because they've had guys like Dan Arnold played, tight end after switching wide receiver here.
Yeah.
They've kind of played around with that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it that way. I mean, for me, it was just another opportunity to just compete. I know the wide receiver position is obviously deep, but just us being that tight end, I mean, it just gave me more of an opportunity, to be more involved in the offense. Blocking in a sense, and getting on the field, being on special teams, and doing those sort of things. So it's been good for me to pick up on different things of the offense that I wouldn't be able to pick up if I was a receiver.
That was something that like different teams saw you at coming into the league, though, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I had a couple teams, looking at me at tight end. Obviously, I was all for it, so that's where my weight was kind of already at 230. And so, coming to the Saints, they were kind of wide-eyed when they see me at 230, and I was like, all right, I love to eat, so it didn't matter to me.
So that's why your weight was there, because you love to eat.
I mean, I'm in New Orleans now, so I mean, eating is kind of the big thing.
It wasn't because you're big boned or muscle dense?
Oh, no.
How do you like the seam route?
Yeah.
You get beat up a little bit on that route, but some past Saints have done extremely well with it. We'd love to
Absolutely. Yeah, I watch a whole lot of film. I mean, I watch a ton of highlights on Ben Watson, a ton of highlights on Jimmy Graham, guys who've been here and obviously had huge success. And so, just watching those guys, run seams and, run outs and things like that, it's kind of amazing because this is the same exact offense that they were in. So, just kind of emulating them and seeing where their skills were, doing that sort of stuff and kind of putting it in my toolbox.
What do you think about the Megatron?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been getting that since high school. I mean, that's kind of like the thing. That was something that I've never even self-proclaimed myself as, but, that's kind of one of my favorite, receivers of all time. It's one of my favorite players of all time. So, knowing that, kind of getting a comparison to him is something that I don't need or don't deserve, but I mean, that's something that I always wanted to picture and emulate my game after was Megatron.
Did you watch him this weekend?
I haven't yet. I mean, we haven't had much time to watch much of anything. But yeah, I mean, it's all him that I keep. You know, having the attitude that I have. You know, blocking and running routes and trying to be big.
How important is this first preseason game for you?
It's important. I mean, it's obviously going to be a good time too. You know, this is personally my first preseason game. Last year it was COVID, so we didn't have anything. But it's going to be huge. You know, just a chance to beat up on somebody other than our own teammates. It's going to be some. It's going to be something fun. You know, I also obviously have some teams on the Ravens, so it'll be fun to see them and play against them.
I know you're not in the receiver room anymore, but have you noticed? It seems like Marquez Callaway is just kind of like taking it on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
yeah.
like feels like watching him, like he knows he's the guy. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been good watching him, and he kind of took on just being that even last year. You know, knowing that him coming in as an undrafted free agent. You know, you always have that chip on your shoulder, and so knowing that he just wanted to prove himself. You know, knowing that he should have been drafted, and then doing what he did last year, and even coming out here and doing what he's doing. It's no surprise to me that he's having the offseason that he's having.
So you saw like that confidence last year, just like kind of knowing that he belongs.
Yeah, he's a confident dude. I mean, he obviously wouldn't show it, but you can see by the way he carries himself and just the way he plays on the field that he plays like a big guy. And so knowing that he takes on that role of just like trying to be that number one guy and trying to get open for whoever's behind center is something that I'm not surprised about at all.
You said you came to the Saints at 2:30.
Yes, sir.
What did you stay there? Like what were you last year and what are you now? Like.
Yeah, I mean, my weight fluctuates a lot. I mean, it just depends on what my wife cooks. I mean, she cooks a lot of food. She's Hispanic, so she makes a lot of food for about 10 people, just 2 of us. So I mean, honestly, my weight fluctuated last year from 238 to 230, and just depending on what it was. But I felt good. I felt fast, so it wasn't any different style to my gameplay. But yeah.
And you didn't add then to it for the full transition?
Oh yeah. I had to add to it. I mean, that's just something like you're blocking guys who are a lot bigger than you, and just having some meat behind you it makes you block a little better.
So what are you now?
I'm 240.
When you say Hispanic, what is her ancestral background then?
She's Hispanic and she has a little Irish in her. So yeah, she's everything.
But Hispanic, like what part of Central or South?
She's Mexican.
Okay, that's a lot of food that she makes.
She makes a bunch of Mexican food, and we love a lot of Hispanic food here, and which is pretty good for us because New Orleans has it all.
So like, what's her best thing? Like a tamale?
Oh man, she makes some great tacos. She makes the best tacos, homemade, shells. Oh man, it's incredible.
And what kind of protein does she put in there?
So she'll put some ground beef in there, put some lettuce, some cheese. She'll hand slice some tomatoes and stuff like. Oh man, it's great.
Describe your athletic background outside of football. Like, what was your favorite sport growing up?
Favorite sport growing up was track. That was my number one sport. If I hadn't done football, I'd probably be doing track. I mean, obviously you probably couldn't tell now because I gained like 30 pounds, 40 pounds, but I love track. That was my first love. That was my father's love. So, track, yeah.
Was he a track athlete in college?
Yeah, he was a track athlete in high school. So they went by 100 yards and not meters. So he self-proclaims himself as the 100-yard champ instead of the meters.
What track events did you do?
I did the 100, 200, 400. Okay. Yeah.
Did you never play basketball?
Played basketball. I didn't really like it. Wasn't really a basketball guy. I'm not a really good shooter. So.
Thanks, Juwan.
Absolutely.
I want to know more about tacos.
Take care.